percussion, we are looking at the percussion book for essential elements. And this one we are using a practice pad. You can also be using a drum. I'm using a practice pad. You hold the sticks the same way. They hit the same way. So either one you want to use, these are just a little bit quieter and a little easier to set up. All right, we're going to start by making sure your hands are set up correctly. I'm going to come a little closer. So when we're holding the drumsticks, there's a fancy way to hold the drumsticks underneath. We're going to switch and hold them on top. So you want your hands on top. Here's what we're going to do. I want you to take your sticks and cut them in pretend to cut them in 3 equal pieces with your fingers. See how the front and the middle and the end are about the same length? Good. Do you see where on this side where you're holding? This is where we're going to hold the stick with our thumb and our first finger. Same thing on the other side. That's where we're going to hold our stick. And we want them to have a little bit of wiggle. Move this up a little. We want the sticks to have a little bit of wiggle. We don't want to hold them so that they're really tight. We're not trying to strangle them. We want them to wiggle. Good. Now that you've got them wiggling with your thumb and your first finger, we're going to wrap our other fingers around lightly so that the stick can still bounce between my hand and my fingers, and I'm still wiggling it with my thumb and my first finger. And I can do that on both sides. It doesn't have a lot of wiggle, and I'm not squeezing it so that there's no wiggle. Holding it nice and loosely, and it's bouncing on my fingers and my palm. This is about how much bounce it's got. Good. All right, and then I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to bring them over. You can think of a turtle. Do turtles like laying on their backs? Nope. Do they like laying on their sides? Nope. They like being right side up. If they get upside down, they get stuck, right? So we want to be turtles face down. See how it's got a little tail? Little tails. Turtles have little tails, right? They don't have long tails. They don't have no tails. We've got just a little bitty tail. We've got our turtle. Good. Hands face down. All right, so we're going to look at number 1. And when we're playing on the practice pad, it says we want to go RL, RL. That's right, left, right, left. Now, when you hit the practice pad, it's pretty bouncy. It'll bounce back if you hit it and you let it wiggle in your hand. What we don't want to do is push the stick into the practice pad. 1, that gets a funny sound. 2, it's hard on my wrist. That feels hard. If I just let it bounce, it's a little easier. The next thing we want to do is we want to make sure our sticks stay above the practice pad. I don't want to do that. That's a little extra work for me. I also don't want to, we're not caveman. We're not monkey drumming. We're keeping our hands right small. Small motions. Doesn't this look much easier than this? This is a lot of work. I'm going to get tired. So small motions. Let's try that. Ready? Number 1. Right, left, right, left. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good job.